Now let's quickly look at our bank transaction register. Now this is what your bank transaction register looks like, and on this sheet you're not required to enter any data. It pulls your transactions from your income and expense sheet and it displays it here. So this sheet is actually locked because it's only for your viewing. You're not supposed to enter any data here. Now remember the transaction that we entered in our income. This is it over here. Remember, business client example for bank deposit, and cash. I think we did cash. Let's see. Let's take a look if we could find. There is example 2 and example 3. They all appear here. So this is it for your bank register. You don't really need to put anything in, enter any data here. Everything just pulls, and this is why it's necessary for you to choose your date when you're entering your data in your income sheet and your expense sheet. So choose your date, your payment method, and your account type so that it could do things like this for you. So let's go to the next sheet. This is your account receivable sheet. Here you record the list of your debtors and keep track of when their payment is due. Let's read the instructions. It says enter the amount customers owe the business here. Account receivable are cash owed to the business. Kindly enter data cells with the following headings. These are your data headings. Customer, invoice date, invoice number, amount, terms, current date, and comment, which is here, the last column. And it also says that when the number of overdue day is negative, example -2, it means the debtor has that number of days until their payment is due. And it says overdue. This is our header for days overdue. Overdue day, days overdue. For these transactions that I've entered, when it's 67, for instance, here it says it is overdue. Yes, and days overdue, 67 days. It means that this customer is late on his payment, 67 days late. But in this example where it says -1, it means he's not overdue yet. He has one more day until his payment is due. Now let's enter an example so you understand how it works. Let's say customer 1 has an invoice of 4th 2024, and his invoice number is 19, and he owes us 1,000. And the terms here simply means the terms of payment. For some businesses, customers will purchase and say they'll pay in a day or maybe when they get home. So let's just say in less than a day, but you can actually choose one for a day, 24 hours, or if it's 14 days, 7 days, 20, and respectively, you choose the terms. Now, for this example, we are going to go with 7 days. So customer 1 has 7 days to pay us our money, our receivables, and its due date is automatically calculated here, which is on the 11th of April 2024. So let's enter our current dates to give us further instructions. So you're going to double click on it and this date calendar will pop up and you just choose. It eases you from typing. So let's say today's date is, we are in April. Let's go to April. Today's date is the 10th of April. So overdue date has automatically updated, and it says payment is not overdue yet. Days overdue. He has 1 day. It's negative. It has negative behind it. So it's 1 day. He has 1 more day until payment is due. So he falls under current dues. Under current, because he has 1 more day until he pays. After 1 day, if he has not paid, he automatically move to 1 to 30 days. And if between 1 to 30 days he still has not made payment, he'll move to 31 to 60 days. And if between 31 to 60 days he doesn't still make payment, he'll also automatically be updated under 61 to 90 days. And after those days, it will also get to older. And please note, when you are tracking your receivables, please ensure that your customers pay you and not let your debts be older, because there's the probability that the older your debts, they become bad debts and you have to let them go, and that is loss for your business. Let's enter another date. Customer 2. So in this date, customer 2, on the 4th of no, let's choose another date, that let's say on the 5th of May 2024. So that's 1 month ahead, and our invoice number is 20 and 200 Ghana cedis, and he's supposed to pay us within 30 days. 30 days. Okay, no, I'm sorry, this is the same transaction as the first one, so he'll have 55 days until he has to pay us. Let's make it shorter, that he hasn't paid us. Let's go back to April. Let's go back to March. Let's do 30th March, and 30th March, no, April, sorry. Let's do April. 1st April. Let's do 1st April 20th. And he had 7 days to pay us our money, which means his due date is on the 8th of April 2024. And our current date, double click and choose our current date. So it says yes, he's overdue for payment, and he's 2 days late for payment. So you see that under current, his 200 Ghana cedis does not appear. It rather appears under 1 to 30 days, because it is 2 days. He's 2 days late. He's 2 days late. If he was 1 day late, it will appear here. If he was not late, just the number of days that it was due, it will appear in under current. But because he's late for 2 days, it appears here. So that is how you keep track of your transactions in account receivables. And it's the same thing for your account payables. It's the same method, but you have to distinguish them so that you know that one chart is for your debtors and one is for your creditors, which are your suppliers, those that you are owing. It's the same format but different informations. Okay.